Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Season 4, Episode 6 of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. We are here with more She-Ra, and I'm excited because I love this series, I love what they're doing with it, and as you guys know, I want to get caught up, to be completely honest. So we're getting to more of that today, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know too much about what's coming. I have been spoiled on a couple things from the final season, because honestly, it's been everywhere, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to fully stay away from it. So I do know a couple things. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to get into that, obviously, until we get to it. Because hell, for all I know, I could end up forgetting about it, and we'll just, we'll just see how it goes, leading up to that stuff. But yeah. So, God, where did we leave off? It's kind of hard to remember sometimes. Um, there's so much we do. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Light Hope was damaged, uh, kind of trapping Adora in the castle and all, the Crystal Castle or whatever it's called. Um, and then, oh, the other side of the story was, uh, oh, what are their names? Kyle, Rogelio, and what is her name? I should know her name. Lonnie, that's it. Lonnie, Kyle, and Rogelio. They were trapped in there as well. There was some fire spores and all going on, and they had to learn to work together. And they were showing some dissatisfaction with working for the Horde. So that's going to be interesting to see where that leads. It's probably just going to lead to them leaving, but it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to come about. Um, I've heard someone talking about how they kind of ship the three of them. Um, I heard someone mention this on social media how they kind of ship the three of them. And I've seen fan art, by the way, as well with the three of them, which is really interesting because you don't get a lot of poly ships in in fandoms, in anime, cartoons, whatever. You just don't see a lot of those, legitimately just regular poly ships. You'll hear people talking about threesomes and shit like that, but no, I'm talking about just an actual ship between more than two people. You don't see that a lot, so it's interesting. But I could see it. I could totally see that kind of idea with them. They definitely have. They honestly do have that chemistry with each other, so I would not be opposed to that idea. I think it's kind of a cute idea. Um, and it's obviously better than the big ship that people like from the show, Catchadora. Um, at least with those three, it's not toxic. um, I still ship Adora with Glimmer, and I think honestly, Catcher would work better with Scorpia, though that would be kind of toxic too. To be fair, honestly, any ship with Catra would be toxic. Let's be honest. She's just a toxic person, and a ship with her it would basically be kind of coming across as possibly abusive and just not okay. That kind of stuff bothers me. So just wanting to get that out there. Um, I probably have before, but either way, either way. So yeah, I don't know where this is going to go for the most part at all. Again, I know a couple spoilers, but I'm not going to get into that. And to my knowledge, they're not huge story spoilers. Well, okay, one of them might be, but not telling me everything about what's coming or anything. Just one moment, basically. Again, I'm not going to explain what they are yet. Um, but yeah, yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see what they do with these characters and how everything goes with the storylines that they've set up. Um, because there's still a lot we don't know about. Well, a lot about the first ones, about Mara, about Horde Prime. There's a lot that we kind of have to build up to. Um, we also have to find out where the hell Entrapped is. Like she was sent to Beast Island, right? That's what they're saying at least. But is that what happened? And if so, it's like, are we ever going to see Beast Island? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Um, so yeah, yeah. Uh, in the meantime, we're just going to get on with this and hope for the best, as always. I will let you know ahead of time. I did just record as well my reaction for Miraculous, and there was a little camera issue where my webcam was like it just froze at times. I apologize for that. I don't know why it's happening. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Um, it's got to be something with the connection to the USB, but hopefully, it doesn't keep happening. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Either way, let's just get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so like a lot of shows, like a lot of episodes of this show, there was really two plot points to this episode, an A plot and a B plot, if you will. The A plot was actually Scorpia, funny enough. So we'll talk about that second. We're going to start with the B plot here, which was centering around Glimmer and Adora having disagreements and arguments, kind of being pushed by Double Trouble, who's still pretending to be Flutterina. So Adora and Bo are treating Glimmer like she's helpless. They're not letting her fight properly. They're not letting her do anything on her own. And for Adora, at least, part of the reason is because of Glimmer trusting Shadow Weaver. Or not really trusting her, but working with her. And Adora sees it as Glimmer being not really unreliable, but just making a big mistake here and not seeing Shadow Weaver for, well, being as untrustworthy as she is. But yeah. Bo doesn't have that excuse, which is kind of like, it kind of hammers in the point that that's not the only reason they're doing this. Glimmer is a queen now, yes, and that is, she does have an important role. She does have to, in a way, be there to serve her kingdom. She does. I won't argue that. But she is also a warrior. She has been a warrior. She has been able to take care of herself and to handle herself. And again, like I said in the reaction, she's not the best fighter. Not compared to especially the likes of Bo and Adora, who are very naturally gifted in combat. Glimmer is not as good. I won't argue that. But that doesn't mean she can't take care of herself. That doesn't mean she can't handle it. That doesn't mean she can't fight. And they're treating her as if she can't, or at least shouldn't, fight. Again, they're treating her like she needs to be protected, like she's helpless, or at the very least, that she's too important to be able to be up there in the action as well. And I fully side with Glimmer here. Glimmer has every right to be there. She has every right to fight, and they need to stop treating her like this. She has, and honestly, like she kind of pointed out in this episode, she's the queen. Technically speaking, they have to listen to her. Now, of course, we know she's not going to do that. She's not going to force them into servitude and use her position as a way to do so. Glimmer wouldn't do that, not unless she's pushed too far to do so, because as we know, Glimmer does kind of have a bit of a temper. She would only do that if she was pushed too far, and that's the only situation. But the problem is her friends are pushing her. They're not trusting her. You don't have to trust Shadow Weaver. She doesn't trust Shadow Weaver, of course not. But she understands that Shadow Weaver's magic can be useful, that it's necessary. And it's just, they're showing that they don't think she can handle things. And again, that they just generally don't trust her. They're not being good friends. Like there was the aspect of that with Catra and Scorpio, which I'll get to, but that was also notable here. They're not being good friends to her. And it's sad to see that. To see them treating her like this. And again, it's much more Adora, but Bo was definitely doing it too. To try and say he was innocent in this is dumb. And then there was that part where she was threatening the one Horde soldier to get the information and everything, and Adora was basically saying, like, you took things too far. It's like, no, she didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? Again, as I said in the reaction, they're constantly attacking Horde soldiers. They're constantly throwing them off cliffs, constantly smacking them around with Shira's case her sword, with Bo's case like shooting them with arrows of all different kinds. You don't think any of these Horde soldiers are getting seriously injured? You don't think they're getting really bad injuries from all of this? And it's so hypocritical too, because just earlier in this same episode, Glimmer was stopping Adora from throwing them off cliffs. Adora's just smacking them so hard they're flying off cliffs, and Glimmer has to stop them from just basically dying. And then Adora's the one saying that Glimmer's going too far? What? All Glimmer did was get information. She made a threat to get information against people who are notably evil. Against people who are notably, they're just straight up violent enemies. Glimmer was not in the wrong by any means. Hell, that was what she should have been doing. Let's be honest. That was the right thing to do there. This rift is continuing to form between them, and honestly, I'm on Glimmer's side. I'm on Team Glimmer in this argument. Adora is wrong. She's wrong in the way she's treating Glimmer, Bo as well. She's wrong and very hypocritical in complaining about Glimmer's actions. And here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing, because some people are going to bring this down to the argument, I'm sure. Some people would look at this and think of the argument about, oh, should we handle this more peacefully or more violently? And that a more peaceful way to handle this, a less violent way in general, is always preferred. And that's fair. Of course, you want to handle things with as little violence as possible, but there are certain circumstances that just doesn't work with. In real life, if someone is coming at you, attacking you, you're going to defend yourself. And if you have the option, you're going to do so violently. If someone's coming at you and your only choice is, for example, say to shoot them in order to protect your life or the life of people you care about, you're going to shoot them. Because it's, one, it's self-protection, and that's just valid in general. And two, it's like, if that's your only option, if that's what you need to do in order to accomplish what you need to accomplish, in order to, in this case, survive, it's like, yeah, that's what you're going to do. Yeah, I know, obviously that's a much different scenario here. But let's be honest, you don't think these Horde soldiers are trying to at the very least, severely injure, but more than likely kill the princesses and and of course She-Ra and Bo and just everyone who works for the good guys? You don't think they're trying to kill them? You must be dumb as a pile of fucking bricks if you don't think that. The Horde are evil. They are perfectly okay with killing. They are perfectly okay with horrifyingly injuring people. When you're fighting against the Horde, you have to do whatever it takes to stop them. Glimmer is right in being willing to threaten them to get information, because that's what need be. That is what is needed. They need the information. She got it. It irritates me. Sometimes violence is necessary. Sometimes doing things like that is necessary. Of course, you always want to try the more peaceful routes first, but those don't always work. It's the argument between protests and riots. Peaceful protesting is all well and good, but if it doesn't work, and honestly, unfortunately, most of the time it doesn't, sometimes riots are necessary. Riots get shit done, let's be honest. The point is, Glimmer is in the right, Adora is in the wrong. In my eyes, there is no other way to see this. It's not even a question. And again, as I said in the reaction, I'm not just saying this because Glimmer's my favorite character. She is my favorite character. I love Glimmer as a character, but that's not the only reason I'm saying this. From a moral and just general logical standpoint, they have to do this. Glimmer is right in the way she wants to handle this. They can't just hold back on this anymore. Not with how far things have come, not with how big of a deal things have gotten to. They can't just hold back. They can't just try to handle things in a nicer way. It's well far past that point. But either way, moving on, because I do want to talk about the A-plot as well. The A-plot centers around Scorpia finally coming to realize how shitty of a person Catra is. And as I said in the reaction, everybody deserves the chance to redeem themselves. And I fully believe Catra can, and honestly, I fully believe she will. I fully believe Catra will become good, that she will join Bright Moon, that she will become an ally. I fully believe that. And it's probably going to happen because of Horde Prime. Let's be honest. I believe it's going to happen, but it has to, one, happen naturally, and two, it's not just going to happen instantly. Catra is stuck in a cycle of abuse. She was abused and now is the abuser. She's a terrible, shitty, horrible, just piece of shit, let's be honest. The way she treats others, the way she uses others, the way she lies to get what she wants. And that's what it comes down to. It's all about what she wants. She doesn't give a shit about anyone else as long as she accomplishes her goals. That's all that matters to her. She is as selfish as they come. And she's not just going to be able to get over that instantly. It's going to take time and effort. It's going to take realizations. It's going to take a lot. But for now, that's how it is. She is an extremely toxic, horrible person, and she needs to realize it, and others need to realize it. And I'm glad Scorpia did. Through seeing it in action because of Emily's recording, but also in person when she, let's be honest, it kind of came across as she was testing Katra there. Yeah, she realized Katra's a terrible, terrible person. And she's finally leaving. She's finally done with this bullshit. And that's good. That's good. I want to see Katra get her comeuppance. I want to see her. Honestly, I know how horrible this sounds, but stay with me. I want to see her get hurt. Like, really hurt. Because I think it'll help her. It'll help her to realize how horrible she's been. It'll help her realize the hurt she's put others through. I want her to understand, because she's not going to be able to properly change unless she does. Understand what she's put others through. Especially the likes of Scorpia and Entrapta. And of course, Adora as well. This is why I can't support Catradora. Even if she does redeem herself, I can't support that shit because there's too much toxic bullshit there. And it's not an okay lesson to teach that, like, if your toxic ex starts to become better, that you should just get back with them because they're less toxic than they used to be. That's actually a terrible lesson to teach. So they really shouldn't go that route. Having Adora end up with Catra would be such a bad message to send. Even if and when Catra redeems herself and becomes good, it would just be such a bad message to send. But yeah, either way. So we find out that the Fright Zone is actually Scorpia's kingdom. I don't think we knew that. We knew that Scorpia was a princess. We knew that her family had surrendered to the Fright Zone and that's why she's with them and everything. Or surrendered to the Fright Zone, surrendered to the Horde, and that's why she's with them and everything. We knew that. Like, that's old news. But I don't think we knew that the Fright Zone itself was Scorpia's kingdom. Again, it makes perfect sense, though, because it's like, the Horde didn't have a kingdom originally. I mean, if you think about it, because Hordak came from another dimension. So it's like, yeah, it's like the Fright Zone as it is didn't exist at first. So it's like, yeah. So of course that's Scorpia's kingdom. Plus that explains how the runestone is already there. It's like, that would probably not be easy to move. I mean, it's possible, but still. It just makes it easier, you know? And it seems like the main building that everything's in and all is actually Scorpia's castle too. So that's interesting. We find out that it was Scorpia's grandfather who was king at the time when when the Fright Zone was created, when the Horde was surrendered to and everything. So that's also interesting. We saw a picture of Scorpia's parents, but they weren't gone into, so I hope we get more info on that in the future. I would like to know more about them. But yeah, it's like, she's finally opened her eyes. And I'm so happy because, yeah, it was obvious, more obvious than with Catra, honestly, that she would change sides. Because she just doesn't belong with the Horde. She's just too nice, too friendly. So, yeah, her and Emily have left. Good. It seems like they're going to try and find Entrapta, so they're probably heading to Beast Island, so that's going to be interesting. Um, I'm hoping Entrapta is found and that she can return soon because I do want to see more of her. But yeah, things are definitely progressing big time right now. So, pretty interesting stuff. Pretty big stuff, all things considered. It's going to be fun to see where this all goes. Um, but yeah, for the meantime, this was a good episode. It did make me a little irritated, again, with the way they were treating Glimmer and all in the B plots, but still, it was still a good episode. We'll see how it goes in the future, where things head and all of that. Um, and again, hopefully find out more info about Scorpia's past and her family and everything. Hopefully we get to more, honestly, stuff with Glimmer and Adora. And honestly, they need to have a real fight here because it's very clearly coming, and I just don't want it to be put off for too long. I think they need to have their fight. Whether it means that they're going to kind of split up to the point where they're not going to be working together, or even if Adora's going to have to kind of just leave and go off on her own for a while. Not really against Bright Moon, but not working for them for a time. Because I'm sorry, but Glimmer's the one in the right, and I think Adora needs to come to that realization that she's been treating her terribly. And like I said, I hope Catra gets slapped upside the head or gets injured or something, because she needs to really come to a realization herself. She needs to understand that what she's doing is terrible, that she's terrible. So yeah, hopefully she just starts to realize that. Because again, honestly, I just don't see any other way that it's gonna be able to be made realistic and believable enough for Catra to change unless she understands the pain she's put others through first. So yeah. And it doesn't have to be physical pain. It can be emotional pain. But she needs to be put through some pain to get that sense of understanding. Yeah. So tell me down below what you thought of the episode. And as always, no spoilers. I have gotten spoiled on a couple things, but again, that's why I'm not saying what they are, because I just don't want you guys to elaborate on anything. No spoilers. Do not tell me anything. Do not elaborate on it, how anything's going to go. Do not even hint at how anything is going to go. I do not want to know. I know with season 5 having been out and everything, the final season and all, it's like, oh yeah, it's all over and everything, but I'm doing my damnedest to avoid spoilers of any kind. So please, please do not spoil anything in the comments. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, tell me your thoughts on this episode without spoilers down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.